God, when I seen her, I was like, whoa, we've never had a first lady like that before in America, but, who knows? She could be okay. She speaks a lot of different languages, I know that, so she might have, an English barrier or something. There's a few videos that have been circulating online that have really been kind of bashing her personality and all of that. I'm not going to lie, there was a few of them that I found quite entertaining, and I actually reposted myself, but it was, I'm sure she's looking at these and going, oh my God, but that's Donald Trump, that's his campaign, that's his life, that's the way he does things. I'm sure that something somewhere had, told her to not speak, detailed about certain topics and stuff like that. So she just probably keeps it very simple, right? And it might come off as her being unintelligent. So, hopefully she turns out to be a good role model for the, females in America and, the youth female, citizenship out there as well. You got little girls watching you, make sure you're dressed nice and cover up. But anyways, yeah, no, it's been funny watching this whole presidential thing unfold. I really, 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 really haven't not heard anything about Hillary and Donald Trump for the last little bit. So I would really appreciate when it's going to be over. But I don't know if that's going to be a while from now. It doesn't seem like anything is slowing down on their topic coverage. So social media is still all over that shit, and they are still watching and calculating their every moves, and it's sad. I didn't think that people hated each other that much in the world anymore. You know what I mean? I thought that was a thing of the past, and now look, there's all this crap going on everywhere. It's just, every time I think about it, it makes me upset. And I don't even live there. That's a bad sign. Just straight up, that's a bad sign. If I care this much, I was gonna cry for some of y'all out there. Honestly, I'm like, oh my God, he won. What the hell now? Right? And it's like, I just hope that as a country, the United States of America, the United States of America, keyword in that, united, okay, that y'all pull together and you make some changes. You guys elected Trump for change. Garcia and I were actually talking about that tonight on the phone, about how they elected Trump for change, they got change. You know what I mean? He's very much different than what they've been used to for the last 100 or so years, right? Like, they have had the same type of government style for the last decades. It's been the same old thing. So you know what? Trump is different. He's a change. He's definitely a change. He's a very blunt change, if I might add at that. You know what I mean? He's not just, salt and pepper. He's like cayenne spice, like bam. You know what I mean? He's definitely going to add his way of doing things, and that's been very clarified. I mean, unless it's all just a crock of shit and he really wasn't actually like that, he was just portraying himself to be like that, because there's very, very good possibility of that as well, right? Trump could have just said a whole bunch of crap to get himself in presidency, because he knew that if he had gotten to a certain amount of people that he would win, and he did. Right? Good for him, honestly. Like, he obviously has some great, advertising and campaigning skills, or, a lot of people who really liked him because he won. So that says something. I've had a lot of people asking my opinion on that. That's why I'm kind of going over that again, because I don't know. I liked Donald Trump I still like Donald Trump. You know what? To be honest, I've just started to really kind of evaluate him a little bit more when he speaks from now on, because there was a time where, I thought he was hilarious. His business ethic was really funny, and he seemed pretty business savvy, right? So, I kind of appreciated his perspective as an entrepreneur, because I myself am an entrepreneur, and he seems to be successful, right? So, I used to read things and quotes and stuff like that really kind of made sense to me, but when I think of him as a president, it's kind of like making Hulk God. It's just like the testosterone just overdoes the purpose. You're just like, oh God. It's like sticking a grenade after you've pulled the thing and just waiting for it to explode. You're just like, okay, all right, it's coming. You know what I mean? You brace yourself. But I just really hope that he doesn't run America like a bank. You know, he could be good for their economy. He does know a lot about the stocks and business and, you know, how to get things booming and other things dropping, and, you know what I mean? He might level out the economy a little bit for them, which is good. I think that with all of, you know, every country has its deficits, and they're, you know, owing a certain amount to their governments, and, you know, they've got debt, right? We've all got debt. We've all got skeletons in the closet as countries, but, you know, Canada and the States have very much so gone very deep into debt. You know, we've got billions of debt, and, you know, that needs to be fixed so that, you know, things can flourish again and businesses can operate smoothly and people can, you know, not have to worry so much about their taxes. Or one of the biggest things, you know, like, I'm so done with hydro bills. For anyone who lives in Canada, shout out to y'all paying like $400 a month now. It's so brutal. Ontario's hydro costs are absolutely like, oh my gosh, like, they're through the roof. Ontario's hydro costs right now are like, if you were paying $120 at one point, you're now paying like $4. You know what I mean? So it's like, you don't get anything more, but for whatever reason, you're paying more. So it's not like your consumption has gone up. You're not using all this extra heat or doing extra laundry or taking, you know, 2-hour showers. Nothing has changed. You're just going to throw an extra $200, you know, chunk onto your bill. They're like, here, take that. You're going to pay it. I don't care if you don't like it, too bad. And that's what's happened to everyone here in Ontario. It's really, really sad. Like, you know, when my grandfather calls me and says, hey, you know, my bill just came in, something must be wrong. I've got a bill of, you know, $345 for 1 month of my hydro. I'm sorry, you got what? You know what I mean? Even I was in shock. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, you're kidding, right? And, like, he's like, no, like, you got to come look at this. Something must be wrong. There must be a leak. And I was like, no, I don't think there's a leak. Like, unless this, like, outside hose was leaking or something. You know what I mean? I was just, like, trying to go through what... there was really nothing. There was, like, no possibility I could think of. And sure as shit, he is now paying approximately $300 to $350 a month on hydro every month when he was paying like $120 to $150 a month. So it sucks. It's sad. It's anybody who was struggling before is definitely struggling now. And you know what? People shouldn't be forced to choose between heat and hydro or food on their table, or rent and hydro or food on their table, or, you know, rent and food and clothes on their and between clothes on their back. You know what I mean? It's just like nobody should have to choose from between the basic necessities of life. Everyone should be, I think that, you know, everybody should be hardworking citizens, you know, pulling their own. Of course, we need all different sectors to make an economy. You know what I mean? We need the upper class, middle class, lower class type jobs, because there's, you know, different levels of the economy, and all these jobs need to be tended to. You know, there's got to be a guy that does the dishes. There's got to be a guy that, you know, cleans the schools. There's got to be a guy that, you know, works as, you know, customer service at a department store. There's got to be those people, because if not, the world wouldn't run the way it's running, and we wouldn't have the things that we have in place. You know what I mean? Every job is there for a reason. It doesn't make anybody less superior than anyone, or less worthy, or you know, it just the way that people portray themselves because of money. That's one of my biggest pet peeves. I think that's my biggest thing in life, is like, be humble. You know what I mean? If you came from nothing and you made it to somewhere in life, don't turn into a dick. You know what I mean? You use your money to change the world. You know, like, for example, like what I'm doing with the fundraiser, I'm not rich. I'm by no means rich. But you know what? A good idea and a little bit of effort really can pay off sometimes. You know, if you work hard enough at anything, you can get it. And that's one of the biggest things that I love about fundraisers, is you start off with this goal in mind of, you know, what you want there, who you want there, where you want to have it, and what you're going to do, right? And then all of a sudden you just see those things, they all just kind of come in place, right? And people don't realize that, you know, as long as you're working hard constantly at whatever it is that you're doing and whatever it is that you want in your life, I don't care if you want to be a garbage man. I don't care if you want to sit on your couch and pick your ass. If that's what you want, you focus on that and you work as hard as you can. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what you want to do in life. As long as that's making you happy, that's what you do, right? And I think that's the thing that divides people a lot. You know, besides religion and ethnicity, there's a huge, huge divider in our world. But people are always so worried about, you know, what they have or what the next person has, or, you know, they're never worried about just working hard on yourself and having commitment and being consistent and going through with what you want and dream about can actually get you to where you can be. Like, people just think it's unbelievable that, oh no, that can't be me. Like, no, that could be you. You're just a lazy beeper and you won't do those things to get yourself there. We need a beep button. You need one of those sound effects, just a beep beep. But everybody has the same opportunities. You know what I mean? You can't sit here and say to me that, oh, you didn't get to, you know, where you want to be in life because, oh, I had less of an opportunity, or my family wasn't as rich. Like, okay, yes, sometimes money can make, you know, a difference in life. Absolutely. You know, I've got friends of mine who went through university to be, you know, these amazing things in life, and yeah, it costs them money. You know, those kinds of courses are absolutely not free. And you know, it paid off. They're great people, but they're humble. They're not like, oh yeah, my mom paid for my school and now look, I'm making all this money and blah blah blah. No, they're not. They don't sit there and lie about it either. They don't say, oh, you know, I did this all on my own. They're humble about it. Like, no, my parents were lucky as you know, adults. They got really good jobs, and, you know, they went through school and they were able to give us this, and we made something out of ourselves. And, you know, now I am where I am and I'm doing well, but I know where I came from. You know what I mean? And that's it. That's all humble means. Humble doesn't mean you gotta go back and help all your friends from, you know, that are living in life, you know, lesser than you, or you know what I mean? You don't need to have a giant reunion with your high school. You know, it just means that you need to respect yourself and everyone around you to the point where you don't put people down. You don't think you're better than anyone. You don't walk around with your nose held high in the air so that, you know, you think your freaking shit doesn't stink. I'm sorry, your shit stinks like everybody else's. You know what I mean? Don't sit there and tell me that you're better than anyone else because you work at some executive job and you make X amount of dollars a month. I don't give a shit. For all I know, you're the biggest asshole that I have ever seen before. And it doesn't matter how much money you make, because being that ugly personality-wise is a lot more unattractive than what it would take to attract me to someone after being that turned off by seeing a personality like that. You know what I mean? People don't realize that when you say, oh, you know, you make a statement on something and you state that, you know, you disagree with that, and you know, you don't want to hear people talk about that. Well, people are entitled to their opinions, but as long as you're humble about, you know, yourself, you know, you should be able to have an educated debate. So, you know, for lack of better words, right? And that's the thing. Like, people always end up going, like, that's the biggest thing I'm seeing on the internet right now is people flipping their lids on everybody they can think of about how, oh, you know, your opinion is less of you know, less meaningful and less relevant because, you know, I said so, pretty much, right? Without having an exact example of what I'm talking about in front of me, you might as well just say that, because people are just, somebody makes a statement and they jump on them and they insult them and they're, you know, tearing down their opinion and telling them that they're rude, or, you know what I mean? Everybody is entitled to feel in such a way. And if you don't like that, then simply unfollow that person. Don't talk to that person. Don't acknowledge what they have to